all over there. So that's
Hello everyone, how are you?
Thank you for being the only person still clapping there, because you were like, oh, everyone stop clapping, but he's not started yet, so I'll just do his comfortable. Hello, right, I'm going to do some oh, by the way, crew gang names, we were just chatting about that, weren't you? Cutting Crew, for fuck's sake, guys, right? And you had the Glasgow Kiss, you know, that where you cut someone's face, right? The Crew Cut. There you go. It is. I mean, who is it? Making enemies. 20 seconds in. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to do some jokes for you. Now, some of you might find these jokes funny. That would be great. Some of you might not, which is broadly fine, I guess. And if you don't find them funny, you can look at each other afterwards and go, my God, that lady with the beard that won Eurovision. Better singer than a comedian, wasn't she? So hello, my name is Preston. What have I achieved? Well, I am the 3-time Northwest Regional semi-finalist of the Charles Manson lookalike competition. Yes, let's get it out of the way. And also, he's dead now, which means this year's competition, national finalist. Oh, gonna make myself famous! I love that you're clapping. I have no idea how well-known Charles Manson is in India. However, I'd wiki him, you're in for a surprise. And you'd think, by the way, that being compared to a cult leader would be like the worst thing someone could say about you. But no, I live in Manchester where people, I think, quite nice, but fundamentally shitheads, right? No, I like them, but they're shitheads. I'll give you an example, because they're very creative with their insults, but they don't even mean it. When it rains, it pours in Manchester today, and I have a cig, and I've got my hood up, right? I'm not in a good mood. And an old lady came up to me and gave me a £1 coin. Now, that lady went, but I think the reason was Mr. No Fixed Abode here was giving off a vibe. And I thought, oh, right, what do I do with this? I should just give it away, but I wanted to make a point for some reason, right? Because I thought, well, I'm doing better than that. So I tapped her on the shoulder, and I put my big boy voice on. I went, excuse me. She turned around, and I went, hi, sorry, hi, I don't actually need this £1 coin, so you made a terrible mistake. And she did that lovely thing every nan does, right? Those eyes that never lose the glint, the smile you can't say bloody no to. And she did an extraordinary thing. She clasped the £1 into my hand, and she looked me in the eyes and she went, oh, that's very brave. And then just walked off. Still had the £1 in my hand. She still thought I was hopeless, but just very much in the denial stages of it, you know? And you would think looking like this, yeah, could it get any better? Yeah, it can. I've had some TV auditions looking like this, thank you very much. No one went woo, thanks for your support. It's like you've all looked at me and went, what has Ash, a crime watch you fit? And go ahead. I got asked to audition for something because they said, Ash, we'd like to see you because we love the way you look. Right? And I'm not one to pass up a compliment, so I went to this audition. And I got brought in and they spoke to me and they said, Ash, we've got this part for you we'd like you to read for. I was like, go ahead. Ash, have you heard of the Yorkshire Ripper Peter Sutcliffe? Yeah! And it was the way they worded it, have you heard of? And part of me wanted to be like, no, never heard of him. Sell me the part. He sounds like quite a character from what you mentioned. And the thing is, I didn't get the part, right? And I was like, never mind. But then 8 months later, another production company wanted to see me. Again, they liked the looks, so I was like, oh, this would be great. And there was a bet money, right? So I went in, and they said, we'd like to read for this part, Ash. This part is for Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper. And that's not me repeating the same joke, guys. I got asked twice by 2 different production companies. And to really put the cherry on the cake, I didn't get the part twice! Now, if you fuck up at something once, I think it's fine. I think you can just pull your boots up and move on and carry on and do something else. But if you fuck up twice, you do start having introspective conversations with your head. You do start going, oh, is it me? Am I not good enough to be the fucking Yorkshire Ripper. And it also means 2 different production teams have looked at pictures of me, not just pictures of me, professional actors' headshots I had taken, which if you don't know, cost several £100s, and they take loads of photos of you, and then ask you to pick about 6 where you think you look both castable and attractive, and they've gone murderer. The worst one I had was at a gig in Rill, right? I don't know if anyone's been to Rill. Because comedy, takes you to the most glamorous fucking locations, like Rill. And I was gigging there, and an old lady, not an old lady, she would have given me £1, but a lady came up to me, and she went, "I've got to look like about you." That's how she approached me. I was like, fine. And she went, "I think you look like the singer James Blunt if You're Beautiful hadn't have been a hit." My life is brilliant, thanks very much. It's a lot. That was Real. Great place. I now call it Chernobyl from now on. But I like doing comedy. I like going about places. I mean, it's great when you do comedy when you fucking know what you're actually doing a bit, when you're not new and you're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, full of piss and vinegar. It's a Saturday night, But anyway, I did a gig at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I don't know if you've been up there. It's not, you know what it is. But to gig there, you've got to do like a lot of gigs in the day to sell your show, because there's loads of big names there. And you're a minnow, aren't you? So you have to do a lot of shows a minute. You gig like 6 or 7 times. So I was doing a gig at 11 a.m, which I think we can agree, crew, is peak time for live comedy entertainment. And I get on stage, I haven't seen the audience, and there's about 60 people in the room, and I get on there and I see them, and it turns out half of them were children aged 7 to 10. I thought, well, that's fucking great. Golly gosh, wonderful. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? I swear I say rude things. I didn't want to offend the kids in the room, or the quite intimidating looking Scottish dads, right? And then I remembered fidget spinners. There's logic. Kids like fidget spinners. Parents buy fidget spinners. Great. Do you have a joke in your act about fidget spinners, Ash? Yes, I do. This gig has been saved. Started doing the joke, realised in the middle that the punchline to that joke was kiddie fiddler. That was more laughter than on the day. And there was a wee lad where you are, sir, in the front row, who shook his head confused. And we need to establish this. Most people think comedians are all quite quick-witted, and we are, but sometimes we don't assess situations quite quickly. So I looked at this kid who shook his head, and I thought, it's because he doesn't get the joke. And I looked at this kid with that mentality and logic and went down that path. And then without really processing the next sentence that came out of my mouth, I looked at this kid and went, "Hey mate, don't worry if you didn't understand that, you'll find out when you're older." Because I thought, they don't call them kiddie fiddlers in school, do they? So he won't get the joke. That was my logic, and I was going the wrong way, wasn't I? And I realised at that moment, oh my God, you've just said something quite bad, right? And what you do in that situation is you try and move on and get out of that situation. You try and do what you can in the quickest way possible. But when you're in that situation, what you do is a thing that you've all tried once in your life, and you think in that moment it will work. And what you do is a concept called digging up. You dig up, you dig up, you dig up. So after saying you'll find out when you're older, I proper panicked and went, not that anyone would! To his dad, right? And then after saying that, my brain then, because you're working overtime, you get paranoid, you start fucking tripping over yourself. And then my brain went, whoa Ash, hang on a second, can I just ask you a question, mate? Yeah, what is it? I want you to imply to that kid's dad that his kid is too ugly to kidnap. And I don't know where I'm going now, I'm digging up. You did dig up and it worked out for him. Peter Sucker's the Yorkshire Ripper! He worked as a grave digger. Do you know why I know that? Because I did my research like a professional. What I'm saying is, I should have got the part! In lighter news, news, right? My mum and sister, during the lockdown, they were alright. Well, what happened was they joined a cult. Yeah, cults are funny, aren't they? End in mass death mostly. LOL. Anyway, I'm being a facetious dickhead as well. I should be sarcastic because I call it a cult. They call it slimming worm. But let's have some fucking real talk here, crew. It's a cult. What do they call the calories, guys? Sins with a Y. Why? Because it's a cult. Open up the can. What are you drinking there? Glug, glug, glug. Oh, just the sweet taste of Diet Cult. That's what you're in. Now, my sister's alright with it, right? She's okay with it. Gets the certificates, you know, she's fine. My mum is a little bit more, what's the word, indoctrinated. And I say to my sister, like, how's it going with it? And she goes, oh, fine. What about you, mum? And she goes, well, son, since I started what we would like to call in the know, the programme, I am what you would call a new woman. In fact, son, I have been on Sunday Lord for 8 weeks now, and I know what a smack addict feels like. Beg your pardon? Because I wasn't letting her get away with that line. I said, I need some more here. And she went, well, son, I was watching a documentary about people who go cold turkey, right? That was the physical action she did, cold turkey. Real empathy, right? And I'm like, go on. And she went, well, when they go cold turkey, they go clean, right? She loved using all the slang. They go clean, right? They go, because they're getting off the gear. And I'm like, the gear? Yeah. And I'm like, where's this linking? Well, they get the shakes. Well, son, I've had a bar of dairy milk for 8 weeks, shaking like a leaf I am. I'm like, no. You can't compare giving up chocolate to giving up smack. It's slightly different. And she goes, no, we shake. It's the same reaction, isn't it? You know, we're withdrawing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's fair, but the psychological... What I'm saying, Mum, is I have never seen anyone down a back alley giving a blowjob for a Freddo. And if you're interested in Freddo, 5 sins, so... I've been single for ages now. I think the problem... I'm alright with it, but I think the problem I have with it is that I am the one at fault. I think the problem is that 2 of my biggest conversational topics are obscure facts about serial killers and Scooby-Doo. Had to do 2 courses in a tiramisu over those subjects, right? And I've got a problem with romance and murderers because fucking, right, I hate using this word, but it's the best way to describe it. Murderers, right, they get a lot of pussy. And I don't want to be controversial here. I'm not on board with that. Seems you all are, but strange. We fucking love a bit of the Night Stalker in here, mate! Get all the poon you can. So I can't believe this is the word poon, my god. None of you know what that means, don't Google it for the love of God. Right, anyway, but I'm confused because bringing up the Night Stalker, he murdered loads of people in the 80s and he got put on death row, right? He had 2,000 marriage proposals. All from them types. You know who they are, the ones that go, well, I mean, I can change him. I mean, those doctors and psychologists and judges and jury members, they don't understand him. I know he murdered people, but I see the real him. And it's like, listen, darling, he's on death row. A country has decided they don't want him to be alive anymore. Good luck resculpturing that mould, love. I reckon what you need to do is you need to work on a tier system and work your way up, you know? Don't go with a murderer, that's a high bar. Start with a train spotter, work your way up. You know, something simple that you can work with. I can change that a bit, because he's a bit broken, but fair enough. Or me, I live in a flat share with 6 other blokes, and I've got every episode of Scooby-Doo on DVD. Fucking change me! I'm looking forward to seeing the world again as well post-lockdown. I used to live in Germany as a kid, And I gigged there right before lockdown. Lovely country. My dad was in the army, so we travelled around a lot. But we were in Germany the longest, and I had to go to like one of those like preschools. Problem there was I didn't know a fucking lick of the language because I was like 4, and the only thing I knew of German was stuff I heard on like the radio and the telly, which meant that conversation in the playground, bit of the old playground banter, pretty fucking difficult. So I'd be on the playground, minding my own business, eating a Choco Lebens, and it was the brand at the time. And Jürgen walked up to me. Now every prick in a German school was called Jürgen, right? It's like the British version of, I don't know, Wayne. No one's met a Wayne where they've gone, you seem like a great guy. Anyone here called Wayne? Always happens. They always look bigger than me, because they're a fucking Wayne. But it's like Wayne, no regrets. And he'd walk up to me and be like, oh, hello Ash, man has gone from some Starbucks, huh? To come up, yeah? And I'd be like, yeah, Jürgen, yeah. I've not got a fucking clue. Hallo Jürgen, wie beginnt's? Hast du ein Bitteschön? 99 Luftballons! I'm going to finish now. Not like that. Not that kind of gig, and a little bit too early in the show. There's also a German in here. You said that a bit like it was the war and we need to fucking hound these bastards out. Before your last joke, I must warn you, there is a German in here! Fucking hell! Bang the doors! Get him out here! Say squirrel! Say squirrel! You can't hang your gun, you fucking German! Oh, there it is! To the fucking Hague with you! To the Hague! What do you mean it's 2023? Shit! Oh no! Brexit means Brexit, love. Anyway, God, someone could really edit that and maybe Brexit means Brexit, and I start screaming about Germans. That's the fucking comedy that you people watch, is it? Oh, shit. Anyway, I'm gonna back to finish now. I'm going to finish on, I don't know how long we've done on a row, so I've got to set my time. I'm going to finish on a joke, a story that happened to be on a train, right? Oh, exciting. Now, you've all had to get a train before, what a weird question to ask, but have you ever had to get that fucking last one? Yeah, you got a journey, and it gets to every single stop, right? Some people call that the drunk train, right? If I was writing a book about it and a book club had to read it, I'd have wrote it as Agatha Christie's Murder on the Trans-Pennine Express. Someone told me there was a book club in, so well, not for you guys. Anyway, I'm on this train, and there are no seats available. Well, there's one seat available, one solitary seat, and the woman next to that empty seat was a nun, of all people, right? And she had her bag on the spare seat, which in my opinion, crew, and I think you'll agree, makes her a nun with a bit of a bad habit. Great joke, great pun, get fucked. Anyway, I say, is there anyone sat there? And she goes, yes. But there was no one sat there. No one came to sit there. So I can only assume she reserved that seat for God, right? Created the world in 7 days. Have you read the Bible? If you read the fine print, love's a real saver. Oh. So I've got to stand in the middle of this train. This is one of those trains where you can't move anywhere, but everyone speaks like they've had a hearing issue go on, and everyone's talking loudly. There's one group of lads who have decided, and it's always on this train, that this is the moment that people need to hear 4 of us sing Wonderwall. It's the time. It's one of those trains. There's been a Kylie Minogue concert and a football match. It's rabble, right? I've got drunk people to the left of me, a Hindu to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. Thank you. And I turn around and I see, after 10 minutes, you. Not actually you, because you would have been screaming Germans, but but there was a lady next to the nun, right? And she was at this. She got on the same platform as I did, so the nun was already on there, so she didn't know her. And it got me thinking, what did I do fucking wrong? What could I have done to have got that seat next to the nun? What could I have offered her that she didn't? A vow of chastity? Like I said, I've been single for 5 years. Wouldn't it be a massive sacrifice, would it? What did she do to get the seat next to the nun? Does she know all the lyrics to Sister Act the musical? Because guess who fucking does? And you know what the most humiliating thing was about it? The most embarrassing thing about this crew? And it was this. You would think, wouldn't you, everyone? Oh, you would bloody well think that after 2,000 years, a nun sees someone who looks like moi on the train. She should have welcomed him with open arms. Amen. You've been really delightful. Thank you. If you want to follow me, you can. I'm getting the 10:30 from Crewe Station. So we'll see what happens there. I've been Preston. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the show. Stay alive!